This evening, just before 7 p.m., a possibly armed suspect called Dane County Communications saying he had a gun. He told dispatchers he was inside the Helen C. White Library on UW's campus. Tonight, authorities are asking the public to be vigilant this 4th of July. Police in Madison and other Wisconsin communities are stepping up security. Lisa, thank you. We have new details tonight in the state budget. Governor Scott Walker says he and GOP legislative leaders have agreed to completely remove a part of the proposed state budget that would restrict open records laws. But first, our continuing coverage of the state budget. Good evening. I'm Zach Nugent in for John and Lee. The $70 billion budget will move on to the legislature. In tonight's White House Watch, we also caught up with Governor Walker at the Menominee Falls 4th of July parade. He spoke about his anticipated presidential announcement in just a few weeks. John, Democrats and even some leading Republicans had called on their colleagues not to move forward with holding today's public hearing. Now, it wasn't just this barn. We're going to kind of take a look at some of the other property. This smaller pole barn, it's standing right here. Those front doors, well, there used to be front doors. They were ripped off. Lee, protesters have gathered here outside the city county building. They are lying down right now, staging what they call a die-in. About 30 individuals are out right now searching this river for that missing 4-year-old. They started at about 6:30 this morning, and we have various agencies on scene. Many are from Richland County, but we have the state DNR involved as well. The DNR actually brought in a plane to do an aerial survey this morning. Yeah, Amy, the big story out here is all of the wind damage. Now, driving through Plantville, we could see plenty of down power lines, and Alliant Energy has told us that at least 5,000 residents all throughout Grant County remain without power this evening. They came out and said, listen, if you don't have a chair of your own, you're going to have to leave because we are filled. Now, some of the students, they've been waiting here all day. I talked to Tom. He's in the blue hat over there. Hey, Lee, that's right. You know, getting a good seat, it's serious business. Some people have been out here since the noon hour setting up these blankets, their lawn chairs. They are ready to go.
We learned a lot today about the investigation into Tony Robinson's death.
He was killed March 6th by Officer Matt Kenny, who will not be charged in the case. NBC 15's Zach Nugent joins us to break down what we've learned about how that night unfolded. Zach?
John and Lee, this afternoon, we not only heard from the DA, but we received dozens of documents, photos, and videos from the Department of Justice. From the time officers arrived on scene to the time of the shooting, it all happened in less than 2 minutes.
I begin with the known undisputed facts.
Leading to the announcement that charges will not be filed against Officer Matt Kinney, the Dane County DA described the evidence he's been poring over, including what led to officers being dispatched.
There were 3 911 calls within 5 minutes prior to Officer Kinney's arrival on the scene.
One of them came from a friend of Tony's who lived at the Willie Street apartment.
It was reported Tony was tweaking, chasing everybody, and is really outrageous right now. The caller and his girlfriend are scared.
We also got a better idea of what the DA used to reach his decision as the Department of Justice released a summary of its investigation. This included numerous pictures, surveillance footage, and dash cam video.
From the video, it does not appear as if Officer Kinney had to open the door.
Video released by the DOJ shows that the whole scenario, from Kinney entering the house to the actual shooting, happened in seconds.
Officer Kinney is inside the residence for approximately 20 seconds before he reappears exiting the residence in a backwards motion, appearing to almost lose his balance. At this time, he is seen firing 1 shot while outside the residence.
6 more follow, all in about 3 seconds. Now, the Department of Justice has made its case file public, and it is available to view online. We have a link to those documents on our website. Just go to NBC15.com and click on news links.
NBC 15's Zach Nugent joins us with a recap of the rally and the protests. Zach.
Yeah, John, Capitol Police estimate the crowd was about as big as it was yesterday, with 1,800 to 2,000 at the Capitol around the noon hour. The message they're hoping lawmakers will hear: they don't support right-to-work legislation.
Everything about right to work is a lie.
Nurses don't want this bill.
Today's rally had a little added anger as union workers and supporters once again stood shoulder to shoulder in front of the Capitol. They voiced concerns about the legislation and that last night's public hearing was cut short by a half hour after GOP leaders cited a credible threat.
So I am here today because I will not be silenced. We will not be silenced.
Some fear the effects right-to-work legislation would have on union finance training.
If unions can't help subsidize worker training, who's going to pay for that? Taxpayers are going to have to pay for that.
We're afraid that these other companies who aren't properly trained, aren't, recommended to be trained, come in and makes it unsafe for workers like us.
Many rally-goers agree they may be fighting a losing battle, and they recognize right to work may very well pass.
I believe that it's a foregone conclusion, and I'm here just to say we're watching. I mean, you can try to shut us out and you can silence our voice, but that doesn't mean that what you're doing is right, and it doesn't mean that you're speaking on behalf of the people.
We're going to do the best we can, and after that we'll keep fighting, and if it means going on and having to vote in the upcoming elections to get some of these people out, then that's what's going to happen.
But their goal is to be heard. Whether lawmakers will listen or not.
We're not gonna sit at home and watch on TV as they take our rights away.
And Capitol Police did say 4 people were arrested this afternoon in the Rotunda area.
It's the fight for 15.
As part of a national movement, dozens of fast food workers and supporters protested in Madison today.
NBC 15's Zach Nugent shows us what's behind it all.
In a call to more than double the minimum wage, some people walked out on their jobs. They gathered along East Washington Avenue, saying $7.25 an hour just isn't enough. With dozens in tow,
It's time for a change.
a call was made for employers to understand the struggles of living on minimum wage.
You can't raise kids, you can't pay your rent, you can't buy. If something breaks down, you homeless.
It's part of the nationwide Fight for 15 movement. Today, Madison workers spoke out.
And we're standing here today to try to go in, to talk to her, and they locked their doors. Open the doors.
$7.25 is not enough. I have 3 kids, the ages 7, 6, and 3. That's not enough money to raise 3 kids.
I can't take care of my son, and he can't get what he wants. And I'm sick and tired of struggling every day in, day out, because I do not have $1 in my pocket left after I've been working at a fast food job.
State Representative Melissa Sargent joined today's crowd. She believes an increase in the minimum wage would lead to a decrease in the need for assistance programs.
Overwhelmingly, when I talk to people that work these jobs, they want to make best do for themselves and their families. And unfortunately, they end up being dependent on things like SNAP benefits and housing assistance and daycare assistance.
She acknowledges it's something that can't happen overnight, but she wants to start that discussion.
And that's the best economic stimulus package that I can think of for the state of Wisconsin, is empowering our profit creators to turn the economy around.
Not everyone believes in the boost. The Wisconsin-based John K. McIver Institute for Public Policy has come out saying a $15 minimum wage would lead to layoffs and cost 91,000 Wisconsin workers their job. They say teen workers would be the largest group at risk of losing their job.